I feel that one. I feel it. I feel it. Okay. Okay, girl. Okay. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Raemie Reyes, and this week we are focusing more on spring break and the warm weather outside, and focusing on that bronzy J-Lo glow dewiness that we are all looking for when we go out to party for spring break. I hope you guys really enjoy this one. Stay tuned to see what we have in store. So the first thing I'm going to do in creating this look is I'm going to go in with my foundation, and I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Professional Paris, the Ultra HD foundation, and I'm going to use two colors, which is the Y245 and the Y305. So these are like a soft beige and a soft sand color, and I have to mix a couple colors because I do have a different couple tones in my face, so I want to make sure that I get both of those tones in there nice and evenly. And then I also go in with my beauty blender and then pat in and sponge in the foundation. That way it sets and it's even and it's flawless. So something I like to do is I like to set my foundation right away. And I'm going to use the Anti-Shine by Kryloan, and I'm going to use the color Dark. And now I'm just going to put it all over my face. That way it sets and it doesn't look greasy or, crease at all. Next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. And with that, I am going to take a pea size on my finger and rub it nice and evenly throughout my lid from my lash line all the way up to my brow bone. Then I'm going to go in with the Temptu Pro Invisible Difference Finishing Powder in the color One Light. And that is going to set the primer. That way it's not sticky and it'll hold and blend eyeshadow very easily. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move into our brows. And so first I'm going to do the Anastasia Beverly Hills Perfect Brow Pencil in the color Medium Brown. And with that, I am going to just follow my natural shape of my brows, but I do like to pronounce the arch a little bit more, as well as extend the tail so that they're a little bit longer, because I do have one brow that's a little bit longer than the other. And then I just take the little spoolie on the end of the pencil and I brush those out and make sure that those lines that I'm creating with the pencil are just nice and evenly brushed in so it's not too harsh. Then I'm going to take an eyebrow brush and I'm going to go into the Anastasia Beverly Hills DipBrow Pomade in the color Taupe. And with that, I'm going to use my eyebrow brush and follow the exact same method that I did with my pencil, again with the pomade. This just ensures that I have nice, even, perfect, pronounced brows. And then I'm going to take the spoolie at the end of the pencil again, and I'm going to make sure that those lines are blended in together and it's nice and even and soft. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the Temptu Pro Concealer Wheel, and I'm going to use a color that's a little bit lighter than my natural skin tone, but not white or too pale for my face. But what I'm going to do is sketch out and make my eyebrows a little bit more defined by following the shape of the bottom with a very flat squared brush. So I'm going to go through and edge those out, and that just helps to make them a little bit more defined. It also helps create a highlight a little bit later. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Lorac Gold palette, and I'm going to use the color Undeniable, and with this color I am going to create my base color. So this is going to be my middle base color for my crease, and this is going to help create depth later on in my eyes. So I'm going to bring it into my lids in just the crease area, not touching my inner lid or my brow bone area here. Then I'm just going to take a clean fluffy brush, and then I'm going to make sure that that line is blended out and the color is nice and even, because #blend please. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to now go into the Lorac Unzipped palette. And now this is the first Unzipped palette, and what I'm going to do is go into the color Untamed. And with Untamed, I'm going to create more of the depth in the bronzy look that we're going to do, because it does have a little hint of a purpley to it. So I'm going to only focus on the outer corners of my eyes and working my way out and not bringing it too much or too close in. Then after that, I am going to use the Lorac Gold Unzipped palette, and I'm going to use the color Unafraid to really deepen up the Untamed color. Then I'm also going to go back and forth with the two colors, and I'm going to make sure that I'm blending those out with the blending brush, and everything is nice. So now I'm going to go back into the Lorac Gold palette, Unzipped, and I'm going to use the color Unleashed. And with Unleashed, this is going to create our bronziness. So I'm going to put in Unleashed and press it into my lid area where there's no color yet to be found. So what we're going to do is just press that in and then blend out the outer edges. That way they blend in with the darker, deeper colors. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my highlight with the Lorac Pro 1 palette, and I'm going to use the color Champaign. And I'm going to take an M150 Morphe brush, which is just a nicely angled brush, and I'm going to dip into the Champaign and then ever so lightly just follow the bottom area of my brow. So just the area that hasn't been touched yet, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to blend it into the browns that we have already on. So for my concealer, I'm going to go back into my Temptu Pro SB concealer wheel, and I'm going to use the second to darkest color just for my skin tone. It has a little bit of a pink yellow tune to it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in my concealer all the way into my natural eye socket, as well as bring it down just a tiny bit into a triangular shape and bring it upwards towards my temple for a natural highlight. Then once I blend that sucker in, I'm going to go back into my Temptu Pro Invisible Difference Finishing Powder, and I'm going to set the area and all areas that I put on concealer with the powder. I'm going to go back into the Lorac Unzipped Gold Palette, and I'm also going to go back to the color Undeniable, and I am going to go in with a Morphe S20 brush, and I'm going to smoke out the bottom lash line, and so I'm going to put on some pigment, and I'm just going to brush that in and make it, pretty good amount of color to it. So I'm going to use the NYC Dark Brown Waterproof Eyeliner, and I'm going to use this to help smoke out and deepen the bronzy look that I'm going for. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the inside waterline area as well as follow it in to my lash line on the top. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of like a hard smudger, and I'm just going to smudge that out on both top and bottom. And sometimes putting on a little bit more of the pencil just to add a little bit more of the darkness, and so we don't lose it too much when we smudge it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the mascara portion of my makeup, and I'm going to go in with the black diamond coating for lash extensions. Since I do go to Melissa at Lash here in Tucson, I like to keep my products very resourceful with my lashes, I guess you could say, but I am going to use this product, and it's used to darken up my lashes as well as seal them in, and it helps pick up any of the loose powder that had fallen on my lashes. Now for my bottom lashes, I'm going to go in with the SmashBox Full Exposure Mascara in the color Jet Black, and I'm going to very fast just brush over my bottom lashes. And so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go in with the Benefits What's Up Cream Concealer, and I am going to highlight the highs of my cheeks. So right here on my cheekbones, make a little exclamation point, so a little bit down the ridge of the nose and then a little bit at the point, as well as my cupid's bow, just a tiny bit under my lip area here. And then I'm going to blend with my finger as well as a beauty blender to make sure that those highlights are nice and even and bright and blended, because we don't want a crazy highlight. So for my bronzer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a couple different bronzers in order to get that nice glowy, dewy skin. I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Medium Deep Matte Bronzer, and this is going to help establish the overall sun-kissed look because it is matte. And I'm going to do my little fishy face and bring it into the hollows of my cheeks, as well as follow out the forehead area, the temple, and I even kind of chisel out my chin just a tiny bit. Then I'm going to go in with the bronzing powder by H&M, and this is a little bit more of the deeper one, and it's called Dark Tan. And with this, I'm going to just kind of chisel out just a tiny bit into the hollows of my cheeks and then blend that area out. And then my last little step for my bronzer is I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild Starlight Bronze, and this is the dewy, this is the sun-kissed look, this is your gold here. And I am going to now go in again and hollows out that cheek, as well as follow into my temple area, my forehead, and then chisel out my jawline here. One of my last bronzers I'm going to put on is the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. And with this, I'm going to just strictly use it for the hollows of my cheek to give that just a little bit more of a depth and a little bit more of a glow. For my blush, I'm going to go into the Cindy Lou Manizer from the Balm Cosmetics in the color The Contour Artist. And this is a blush that is semi-pink, but more on the bronzy side. It's a little pale. And with that, it's just a little hint of pink, but not too much, because this is more of a bronzy sun-kissed look for the pool. So I'm going to just smile at myself and do the apples of my cheeks here and focus on this area, as well as bring it in more to my tragus area of my ear. So for my lips, I am going to use the NYX Peekaboo Neutral Lip Liner, and I'm going to just nicely line my lips. Nothing crazy, nothing too overlined. That's more of a personal preference. Then I'm going to go in with the MAC Speed Dial Lipstick to give myself that nice bright pink but not too overwhelming lip color. My last thing is I'm going to go in with the SmashBox Highlighter Smashing Sunrise, and I'm just going to really very small, just a little bit of a touch, but I'm going to bring it into the corners of my eyes in order to open that up and just give me a little bit more of that dewy look. Alright guys, there you have it. There is your spring break bronzy tutorial. I hope you guys are going to rock this one, because this is super rockable with your banging bodies out by the pool when you guys are celebrating spring break. And if you guys do rock this look, please hashtag Raemie Makeup and I Do Hair and Makeup Artistry. That way we can see all the inspiration you guys are out doing in the world. And until then, I will see you next week, and I look forward to it.